This is video 4 for the 4-part video series, how to do a profit loss statement for your bar or restaurant. Let's get it on. Hey, how you doing? Dave Allred, the Real Barman from barpatrol.net, back again. It is Friday today. We're headed into the weekend. I got my scruff going on. I only shave once per week. I shave on a Monday. My wife thinks my scruff is super sexy. At least that's what she tells me. She's probably just pumping my self-esteem, but I will take it. My kids hate the scruff because whenever they come in for a kiss, I give them a little scratch and scratch their face, and they think it's hilarious. Or maybe I think it's hilarious. Whatever. So enough about my 5 o'clock shadow. Let's get to the video today. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, if this is your first time here, make sure to hit that little button, hit that little bell, and then you and I can be secret friends and hang out all the time, share information just like this. So, as you should know, unless you've been living under a rock, or maybe you just searched for how to read a restaurant profit loss statement and this is your first time here, this is part 4 in a 4-part video series in which we are systemizing your finances for your bar or restaurant. So make sure if you haven't watched them yet, go back to the first 3 we're building. We did daily, we did weekly, now we're doing monthly. There's templates in every single video that we show you how to do this, the same templates that I use for my clients. So make sure to go watch those if you haven't watched it. But today we're doing the profit loss. It is considered the biggest one, the most popular one, not just in the bar and restaurant industry, but in all industries. Everyone's talking about profit loss statement. How much money did you make at the end of the month? So if you're not doing it, you need to make sure you're doing it. If you're only doing a half-assed job and you're not quite sure, you don't have a good template, this is the template for you. I have a buddy who runs a bar and restaurant, and he came to me and said, Dave, it shows on paper that I'm making like 15 grand a month, but I feel like I have no money at the end of the month. What's going on? So I said, let's take a look at it. I looked at what he had on paper, and he just had something half-assed. He had his sales on there. He had all the stuff he was buying. He had some expenses and labor on there, but he was missing like $33,000 in property taxes, all sorts of different things that should have been on there that he wasn't recording. So he was actually losing $18,000 per month. That's why he had no money at the end of the month. So I gave him this template. Now he's happy as a pig in shit. So let's get right to it. Let's bring up the worksheet here. And again, you can get all these templates at therealbarman.com on the resource page. Go check it out there. They're all on there. So you'll notice when I bring this up right now, this one's already filled out. I didn't want to, again, have you watch me fill it all out. And what you're going to notice right along the bottom here, if I widen this a little further, that it includes all 12 months of the year. A lot of times you just have a single profit loss statement. You fill that template out, you save it, you have to go get another one. This is an entire year's worth of profit loss, all built into one template. It's awesome. So what you're going to notice is it has current period. That's what you're going to enter on a monthly basis. And then it has year to date, which means it's going to add the months up as you go and show you where you're at on an overall basis. So it's going to give you an average of how you're doing. And so we're starting in January, but if you're in March or September or October, wherever you're at right now, go ahead and just start right there, but it's going to start adding it up so you can see what's going on a monthly basis. If you haven't done a profit loss before, or you're just not quite sure, let's go over it. Let me bring this back in. I don't need that to be wide. We're just going to go over a month or two here. We're going to start in January, and let's look at the numbers. So what we need sales. Once again, if you've been filling out the other templates or you've done this before, you need to get on your POS system. We're looking January 1st through January 31st. Run your numbers, run your sales, break it down. Food, non-alcoholic, liquor, bottled beer, draft beer, wine, retail. And then we have miscellaneous again in case you have different categories than we have. Again, you can rename these, but don't start deleting or adding rows. You're going to mess everything up in the formulas, but you can rename these. If you just do food and bar, you can just have a food and bar and just make this all blank. That's up to you. Once again, I'm going to preach details. The more detailed you are, the more you can see where you're at and where your problems are, because each of these has its own industry standard and what percentage they should be at and what you should be hitting. So all of your sales, that's number 1. Number 2, our cost of sales, our cost of goods sold, our COGS, our COGS, whatever you want to call them, they go right here. Again, they're going to mirror up here. Now, this is why we can't be deleting rows, is these match these exactly. So make sure that the name is the same if you change the name, because what we're going to get here are cost percentages. These numbers up here, This is percentage of sales. This number is not cost percentage right here. It's the percentage of sales. Same for year to date. So you can see that 28% of their sales this month were from food, 38% was from liquor, 5% from bottled beer, and so on and so forth. So that's a percentage of sales. But right here in the cost of goods sold, we do have the cost percentages overall. And you can see this handy little tool over here. This is the industry standards in general, okay? So depending on if you have a dive bar, a fine dining place, a club, whatever it is, this is the basic bar and restaurant industry standards right here that you can base on, so at least you have a benchmark to go on. So very cool that we have that all here. And then you can compare. You can see this guy here, he's at 35% food. He should be at 28 to 32%. There's an area you can fix right there. Non-alcoholic 7%, he's doing fine there. Liquor at 25, way too high on liquor. We got to bring liquor down. Got to track your inventory, see how your bartenders are pouring. Something's going wrong. Adjust your pricing, all sorts of things there. There's so much you can do to adjust this and hit your target numbers. Okay, that's for a different lesson though. Today we're talking about filling this information in so you can get these numbers and then you move on to fixing it. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos on how to fix that, go watch them. So then we're going to go enter every category for our cost of goods sold. Our cost of goods sold is simply what we bought, what came in on an invoice. Make sure we're recording that so we have those numbers. This is all about being a grown-up, being a big person. Now we come down to labor. Once again, if you're filling this in on a weekly basis, you can have these numbers. You can pull them straight from your other templates if you don't have it recorded somewhere else. Management, hourly, benefits. We keep it very simple right here. Group it somewhere in these three categories right here. Then we're going to come down. This determines your prime cost. If you haven't watched the weekly sales and prime cost video, that's number 2, I believe. Go watch that. That's all about your prime cost. We have a template to determine that on a weekly basis. Your profit loss is also going to determine it. So once you get your sales and your cost of goods sold and your labor all put in here, it's going to tell you where you're at. All right, this person's at 65%. So they're doing something right because they got numbers higher up here, but maybe their labor's down, so they're hitting their overall numbers. He could actually bring that down another 5% if he gets all of his other numbers correct. Now we come down to expenses. So we've got all the way through prime cost. Now we're going to hit direct operating expenses, music, entertainment. Again, you can rename these. Maybe you don't have music. That's fine, rename these, but we just have this many categories. This is a summary report you'll notice up here, which is a general summary of what we're bringing in and what we're spending money on. You can get a lot more detailed report if you want. We actually can provide that. If you let us know, we can give you that one too. That's up to you. That's just a lot more detail about all your expenses. We like to keep it simple in the beginning at least. You can get more detailed later. I do love detailed, but I don't want to overwhelm you or anyone who's starting and doing a profit loss. So this is simple. You can actually sit down and fill this out on a monthly basis and actually get it done and find out what's going on. And then we come to our non-controllable ones, which is occupancy costs, your rent, your property taxes, equipment leases, and then we have miscellaneous for all sorts of non-controllable expenses that you might want to put in there. And then we have your total operating income is $8,199. Include your depreciation and amortization, interest expense, other income expense, put that all in here, and you're going to get your income before taxes. And this number, again, we have these industry standards over here. Your occupancy cost should be around 7 to 9%. This guy's at 9.2. He's right at the top echelon of it. And then down here, I talked in the Systemize Your Finance course about how hard it is to make it in this business. The average industry profit before taxes is 3 to 6%. That's crazy. Okay, this guy is at 5.6%, so he's right in that industry standard. But if you look at these statements and you start fixing some areas, you can get over that 6%. That's the industry standard because the industry is not very good about systemizing. Systemizing is so important to run a profitable business, and again, not just in our industry, in any industry. That's why I'm huge on systemizing. That's why I'm coming out with the courses on systemizing your bar. The first one is Systemize Your Finance. It's the most important one. So there's a link down in the description for these templates, as well as that course that you can go purchase and go put it all together and start systemizing your finances right off the bat. That's the first step, and then we move on to systemizing other areas of your bar. Super important. And that's going to about do it for this template. The last thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to scroll up here, is the year to date that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to go to February here, and you'll notice that it just adds everything up together. And I just basically put these same numbers in again, so everything's going to be doubled over here. But it adds it up as you go along, month after month. And this way you can see trends. Are your numbers going up and down? But over a 3-month, 6-month, 1-year period, you can see if your percentages are going down and your profits are going up, which is exactly what we want. So you're able to identify that within each month and then see long-term trends. Super valuable template. It's awesome. I use it for everything. Again, you can get these templates at therealbarman.com. Click on the resources page. They're all there. There's some other resources on there as well. If you click on the courses page, it's going to show you the courses we have. I have a bartending course on there, a bar auditor course, and then we have the Systemize Your Bar and Restaurant. We start with the finances. You can click on there and check it out. This is about systemizing your business, making your life easier, getting everything structured in line. It's going to make your life so much easier and more profitable. If you do this, it's going to solve a lot of your problems. It doesn't mean you don't have to work. It just means everything's going to be in order. There's rules to everything you do. You sit down on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, put these things in, and then start analyzing where the problems are, and then start becoming more profitable. It's just going to reduce your insanity is what it's going to do, and make your life a lot easier and your business run more smoothly. And that's going to do it. That's the end of this 4-part video series. Don't be sad. It's okay. Don't be sad. I will be back with more videos. In fact, speaking of that, I really appreciate you being here. I hope wherever you're at in your life and business with your bar and restaurant, things are going well. I hope you have a great week or weekend wherever you're at right now. And I'm going to see you next time. I'm out of here.